Okay, this video is all about handling, and it has nothing to do with the dog, although it will affect your dog. Alright, so just some simple rules that I have when I am actually going through, and I've already taught my dog how to heel, and I am starting to get things polished up. I want to make sure that my body posture and my cues are consistent and accurate so my dog understands it. Alright, to start, when I heel with a dog, I always look just like where my next step is going to fall. The reason why I do that is because my dog is so fine-tuned with me. Basically, they look at my eyes, they see any kind of head motion, any kind of shoulder motion, so I need to be very consistent. So when I'm heeling, I heel looking at the step that's going to come up. So I would look that step, that step, that step. Okay? Now, when I do slow pace, I make sure that when I'm doing slow pace, I don't break and lean back, because that is, believe it or not, a part of my halt. So I want to make sure that I don't lean back, and I'm going to take about half of the step. So if I'm going normal pace, I'm going to make sure that I'm not tilting backward, take half a step, and go into my slow pace. When I'm coming out of the slow pace, I immediately go back into slow. So it would be slow pace, back into slow. Back into normal, my mistake. Same with fast, all right? Fast pace, I'm going to look where my feet are landing. Now, my feet are not going to land there, they're going to land a little bit further. So I'm going to just look a little bit further up and go into fast pace. Now, the only exception to that rule is if I have a dog that has a tendency to forge or really drive out. Some dogs do. I had a golden that did, and one of my border collies did. I don't look forward. I keep my eyes at the normal pace. All right? So we've got slow pace, we've got fast pace. Fast pace, going back into fast pace, is always double my pace. So if I have a dun, 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 dun rhythm and normal pace, it's going to be dun, 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 dun at fast. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Now, when I go back from fast pace to normal pace, I do have a little bit of a lean back, because basically I have to do a break step. And I get in and out of pace changes within 1 or 2 steps. It's no easy gliding into it. It's like there and there, okay? To me, it is supposed to demonstrate that the dog is really paying attention to you. And basically that's what I want, is I want to show the judge when I'm showing that my dog understands cues and understands how to stay at my side. Okay? So on the halt step, I look at my feet. All right? Now, I don't go like this and look at my feet. That would be really, that would look funny. So when I'm walking, I simply just drop my eyes to my feet and I see my toes. Okay? So my head moves a little bit, but not that much. But it's enough to give a dog a cue that, hey, I'm stopping. As long as the dog's focused, he'll notice it. Now, when I'm doing my turns, I want to think my turn first, I want to see my turn next, and then I want to do my turn. All right? So I don't just do this when I hear a turn. I hear the judge say left turn, I think about the left turn, I look for my left turn, which is my weight shift that I've already taught my dog, right? And then I do my left turn. Now, my turns are not 90 degrees, all right? That's a military turn, and you're not supposed to do those. It is a slight round of my feet, okay? It's very, very slight. So even if I'm going to go over to the right, my weight shift, I start my turn, and I finish my turn. Okay? The about turn, I practice both right and left about turns all the time. I make sure that when I'm doing them, as I'm turning, just like in my pivot, I look where I'm going, and I push off. Now, I see a lot of people, let me do it this way. I see a lot of people doing this, okay? This stalls you out. It stalls forward motion out. So a lot of times you get dogs that flare, dogs that go wide, dogs that push forward. And so I try not to do that. When I'm doing my about turn and I start going in, weight shift, foot, push, push, and go. All right? So it's really important. Now, I do have an alternate about turn for when a judge runs me into the ring gate, which has happened many, many times, which basically is, as I'm planting my foot and say the gate is here, I actually come in with my left heel in front of my right heel in front of my left foot, and then I turn and go. All right, let me try that again. I come in. Let me try that again. I come in there. So my right heel is in front of my left. Toe to toe, rotate. I have space and go. Now that was that about turn footwork was my footwork of choice with my Shelties. And the reason why is because a lot of times when you do a T-step, what happens, you see how my foot comes around like this? You see my heel? If you have a smaller dog, it's going to push the dog out. And so when I did this, it gave my dog time to come around and hug me so that I got a crisper turn. All right? So that is just a little side note. For smaller dogs, that's a good alternative. And I've never had a problem with the dog learning that off of my pivot work. Okay, so remember when you're turning, when you're heeling, think about what you're doing, not about what you're going to do. All right, and when I say that, a lot of times if there's like a gate coming up, people will start going, okay, there's a gate, there's a gate, there's a gate, and they start inadvertently pre-cueing their dog for a turn, and they start getting flares. They start getting a dog go wide, they start getting a dog starting to turn. So you need to be thinking straight. So when I heel, I am thinking straight until I hear something different from the judge. When I hear something different from the judge, I think about it, I see it, and then I do it. Okay? So remember, think it, see it, do it. Don't do it all at once. 1, 2, 3. Got it? Okay. Make sure that you like and subscribe this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way YouTube will send you notices when I release new videos that are coming out just about every week at this point. And make sure that you stay tuned for the training tip that's coming up next. We'll see you next time. All right, training tip for the day. Beware of inadvertent training. This is when either you or your dog inadvertently learn a skill or a habit that you haven't necessarily cued, but it will continue to pop up and show up at really, really inconvenient times. Good example, a dog that I take out with me for a walk, and the dog will leave me without a command, without a release, without permission, and go visit other people or go sniff or just go run around and do whatever they want. Well, inadvertently, I'm teaching them that it is okay for that behavior to happen. What I mean is if I haven't given my dog a clear command to go sniff, to go potty, to go visit, and my dog just arbitrarily leaves me to do that, basically I'm teaching him that even if I'm in the ring, that he can leave me to go say hi to the judge or hi to a steward or go sniff a sign if I'm on a rally course or grass or the ground. So I want to make sure in my everyday training that I am not inadvertently sabotaging my training and my showing. So I give my dogs commands for everything I want them to do. okay? Go outside and go potty. Come to me. I expect them to stay with me unless I give them a command to leave. It's really, really important, and a lot of people don't get that small little inadvertent training skill or sinkhole or whatever you want to call it. And it ends up biting them when they go into the ring. All of a sudden something shows up, and inadvertently, I have taught my dog it is okay to do that. A real quick example, when I was showing my dog Easy, he went down on a sit-stay one day. Dog never broke sit-stays. Well, I couldn't figure out what happened. So I went home and I started doing some planning and I started doing some thinking, and my phone rang. Well, when my phone rang, I turned around and I looked at Easy and he went down. And I was, I wonder what's happening there. Well, at the time I was a real estate agent as a profession. And every time my phone rang, I always answered it. So even when I was training my dog, inadvertently, I would turn my back on my dog to go get my phone. Easy learned, inadvertently, that when the phone rang, he was off duty. In the ring, someone's cell phone rang, and he said, "Oh, I'm off duty," and I laid down. I fixed it very easily. I just proofed against the phone ringing, and I was more aware of that inadvertent training, bad trainer that I accidentally did. But it's just amazing to me how inadvertent training pops up in the ring, and it's little things that we do at home and in everyday life that are actually impacting us. So remember, be aware of inadvertent training. I'll see y'all next time.